This map first impressions video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another map first impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Fenton Forest by Stevie. This map can be found over at Facebook at the Farm Simulator Mods page, and I will leave a direct link to the map post in the description below. This is a much anticipated map edit by Stevie. Those of you who are into PC Farm Sim probably are well aware of who Stevie is. He did several maps and mods in 17 and to date has released several edits of in-game equipment for Farm Sim 19. Now, while this map is technically an edit of the Felsburn base game map, I am making an exception to my standard rule of not doing map videos on base game edits for this particular map because it is so heavily anticipated. Let me read you a little bit of the description and then we're going to jump on in. It says the main farm is designed and built into the map and is not removable by the user in-game. So that means that all the buildings, all the animal areas are basically burned in. You're not going to be able to sell them. They are as they are. The map works perfect in all three game modes. Now I will tell you that we're only going to do this map video in new farmer mode because the only difference in farm manager mode and start from scratch is your starting money and the fact that you don't start with any land. You still start with a fleet of equipment. You start with all the animal areas and you start with a bunch of crop in your silos in all three game modes. Okay? Any settings for detail, draw distance, shader, lighting, all have been customized. So he's basically giving you a warning that if you use lower end hardware, you may or may not have good performance with this map. He's tested it with a high-end system running a 1070 Ti card. I personally am running a 1070 Ti card and I haven't seen any issues, but I do know that those are fairly high-end on the side of performance. The map has all the animals installed at the main farm. The silo holds many items, including milk, and also farm supplies on the riverside can be purchased. Manure, digestate, and liquid manure storage has been added to the farm. It can also be purchased from the tanks near the house, including herbicide. Manure sales are at the map's central placeable area. Wool can be sold on the farm or at the spinnery. The map has a huge natural forest that will come at a pretty penny to purchase. BGA has a high capacity sell point and is basically included with the farm as far as land ownership. So let's go ahead and jump on in. Y'all can read the rest of the description as you look at the download. We're going to go ahead and do camera collision, go crosshair, and we're going to get our Mahindra. Let's pull up the log. We'll see that the map loads up error-free and it loads up a boatload of equipment. We're loading up the placeables now. Loading in all the starting equipment. Oh my gosh. And there we are. So here we are at the career start point at the farm. This is our farmhouse, so he's using the European style farmhouse. Decorated it up quite nice, I think. If we go around the side here, you'll see that we do have the sleep trigger. So there you go. So let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA. So here is the map itself. There is a total of 16 fields on the map, and they are all pretty darn big. If we go to the land section, you'll see we start out by owning fields 1 and 2, the whole main farm here, and the BGA itself. There's quite a discount on the land here. It's only $484,000 for all of this, whereas field 8 is $449,000 itself. Let's look at field 13, $998,000, field 15, $1.2 million, and let's take a look. If you want to buy the forest and all of the trees basically scattered around in the odd spots, you're going to have to shell out $3.1 million basically to do that. There are some other interesting areas that we could purchase, like the Sawmill. It's $39,000. Got the heating plant, $18,000. Field 10, $212,000. And Field 12 comes with the manure sales area, is $751,000. So we do have our standard crops here on the map. And if we take a look, we have several sell points. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sell points that take most of our crops, including several sell points for eggs and milk. 2 distinct sell points for wool. We've got the wool farm sales, $928 per thousand, and the spinnery. So the wool farm sales basically brings forward the concept of auto selling. So lots of Stevie maps in Farm Sim 17 basically had auto sell triggers. Well, here we are. We basically have an auto sell trigger for our wool here on this map. If you don't want to haul it off, it will eventually start to sell. See, we have several sell points for hay, straw, grass, and silage, including the BGA. There are contracts on the map, both transportation and field work. Let's take a look at that starting fleet. Again, you start with this equipment in all 3 play modes. Okay, so we start out with several tractors. Let's see, we got 4, 5, 6 different tractors that all range in horsepower from 235 to 517 horsepower. Got the Roadrunner Semi. We've got the New Holland Harvester. Pro Big M Mower, Telehandler, Pickup Truck, Rampy Semi-Trailer, Large Strawderman Trailer, Agroliner. We've got the 45-foot Draper grain head, and the Qualstar HS16 12-meter row crop header. Got the Horsch Joker 12R cultivator, multi-plow. We've got the the Amazon Condor seeder. Lots of big equipment. Kuhn Metris fertilized sprayer. Got the Burrito fertilized spreader. And the Samson Manure Spreader, the Joskin Slurry Spreader. Now, let me say, if you're somebody that typically sells starting equipment, you might want to wait off on that because let's see here, let's get back here. Yeah, you might want to wait off on that because all 4 of these items contain product. The Kuhn is full of herbicide. The Burrito is full of solid fertilizer. The Samson's full of manure. And the Joskin is full of slurry at the start. We've got some haymaking equipment, our tedder, windrower, pickup wagon, the Kuhn square baler, square bale auto-loading trailer that's in-game, water tank, silage roller, got front loader arms, got a bale spike, a shovel, pallet fork for our telehandler, and then we've got some weights and a power washer. Like I said, we have a boatload of equipment. None of it is leased. And those items that I showed you, I would not sell them until you use the product, because if you go and sell them right away, you're going to basically regret, I think, getting rid of some pretty darn good product. At least empty them out first. So right here at our farmhouse, we have our chickens. And speaking of animals, you can see that we start out with some of each. So we have 9 pigs, 10 sheep. We've got 2, 4, 6, 7 chickens. Well, 6 chickens and a rooster. 10 cows and 4 horses to start out with. Now, none of these animals have anything in the feed troughs, but we do start out with animals, so you can even sell these animals off also. Here we have the spawn point for our eggs. We have our feed trigger. And then our purchase point for our chickens right here, right by the farmhouse. Go over here, we've got our cows. So here we have it's basically the standard in-game cow pen. So here we will deliver our cows. We've got our water trough around the side here. We've got our straw trigger. Got our slurry in our manure pile. And while we're back here in the back, we do have a pond down here that we can drive down into and get our water for our water trailer. And of course, around front, we do also have the milk trigger here and then the feed trough. We do have some design elements in here that I do like, kind of the reskinning of this building. Trees and whatnot inside the pen, pretty nice. Got two large silage bunkers here for our cows. It's trigger 1 and trigger 2. And then over here we've got our sheep pen, so we've got our water trigger. Get to this over here in a moment. Got our animal trigger. And here we've got the wool spawn point and then the auto cell wool spawn point. So I assume what's going to happen here is wool's going to spawn here in the front. And it's basically going to stay here. And eventually wool is going to spawn toward the back. Okay, so if you want to sell it, you can just push it to the back. We've got our feed trough for our sheep. Now, what I like this building. This is, the in-game, easy shed. I think it's been scaled a little bit, but I like how we've got wood here along the sides. This would be a great spot to put bales, semi-protected from the rain and the weather with those wood slats. Now, this particular contraption here is rather interesting. This is manure and slurry storage. So we can dump excess manure here in this pile. We can empty our slurry tanks in here. Got a little bit of a animation swirling action going around there. And then we just come over here, put our tank, our trailer under this pipe to then draw out of our storage. Let's head on down this way. We'll experience our pigs now. So of course we've got our manure and slurry there. We've got our straw trigger, our water trigger, our animal trigger, and food trigger. Nothing exciting there, but we do have a fair bit of nice decorations done, a reskinning of the building and everything. Something else to mention, that lots of these buildings have solar panels on them. We will be getting some amount of money per game day just from solar energy, somewhat to offset running costs and everything. Now, we've got slurry and manure and digestate. We can purchase slurry, manure, and digestate from here. We can purchase herbicide from here. Okay. Let's run down here to the silo because the silo's got two little tricks up its sleeve. First off, this is where we're going to be dumping our product into the silo. And I want to get the JCB and the trailer because I want to show you a couple little tricks. Got some equipment over here. There you can see the manure spreader has some manure in it. Remember, these two tankers, the slurry tanker and the sprayer, both have product, as does the fertilized spreader there. If you do wish to sell that equipment, do empty it first. So over here we have the silo out. Okay, so you can see our silo holds a huge amount. That is what, 16 million liters of product. And as I said, we start out with product: barley, wheat, oat, canola, sunflower, soybean, corn, potatoes, sugar beet. No sugar cane, but our silo will hold sugar cane. Also hold seed. We do have mixed rations, chaff, wood chips, silage, grass, hay, straw, fertilizer, pig food, lime, and back to wheat. So our silo will hold a substantial amount of both product, crop product, and other product that we may be needing to use or implement here on the farm. Now, on the other side of the silo, we've got the trick up its sleeve that I wanted to talk about. Over here, we can actually purchase product. Okay? We can't purchase everything, but we can purchase seed, straw, grass, fertilizer, silage, lime, total mixed rations, hay, and pig food from this side of the silo. Okay? So over here, we've got, basically it says supply purchase point. And then over here, it basically says silo store out. Okay. Here we have a sell point for hay, straw, grass. Got more of our equipment lined up here. Fuel on the farm. And we've got our horses here, where we're going to be buying our horses. Right next to the horses is the riding rink. Got our food trough. Around the corner here we have our water trough and our straw trigger for the horses. And then we've got, I'm not really sure what this is. I think this is just, we could pile up sugar beets or something there if we want. Another storage shed here. I love, like I said, I like the wood on the back as here. Now we also have some bales here. We start out with some hay bales and some straw bales. And then finally we've got one more shed with the rest of our starting equipment. And that, guys, is the main farm here. So let's just go ahead and get our retriever. And check out the shop. There is our retriever. Now let's go ahead and see, just for funsies, what happens if we reset this. So it looks like it resets back to the farm. We're going to have to jump back to the farm and see where it went. But before we do that, let's just take a look here at the shop. Got some nice case equipment sitting out front here. Got a little flat cutout of the New Holland. Pretty cool. All right, let's jump back here. And see if we can't figure out where reset point is. Here at the main farm. Maybe it's back here. Yep, it's way back here. I see it. Right there under the tree. So we didn't notice the harvester or our semi. That's because it's sitting up here over at field 1. Before we go anywhere, though, let's zoom out and just take a little bit of a look around the farm. Lots of trees, lots of ambiance. So there is field number 2 that we own. Field 1 is over here. So in the base version of this map, we are basically over the water at this point. So here's our harvester and our semi over here by field 1. Let's head on back and just start taking a little tour of the map. A little driving tour. So let's take a look. Let's see here. I guess let's go clockwise around the map, and we'll come back here to the rail crane, just up the road. That will conclude our driving tour, and then we'll jump in the train and just ride the train around, get a little bit more view of that forest that's up there. The forest makes quite a predominant part of the map, maybe a third or a quarter of the map. So here we've got a placeable area. Now the placeable area is a part of that $3 million land that we have to purchase here. See, if we want to put something in this placeable area, we basically have to buy all of this in order to do that. There's also a placeable area over here. That is also a part of that massive amount of land. So I don't know. I kind of think that that maybe that should be split out a little bit, not a part of that big hunk of land. Maybe you don't want. Maybe you want to start small and want to have a little farm set up there. Right now, as it is, you're going to have to buy that $3 million worth of land in order to do so. So a lot of these sell points are pretty much the same as Felsburn. They've just been touched up a bit. These guardrails around all the sell points are pretty typical for what you're going to find at all the sell points here on the map. Here we've got our animal dealer. Of course, since we already have our animal areas, we just pick what pen we want to put the animal in, and then we will be able to buy that particular animal. So have a sell point here at the animal area. Let's go ahead and turn back. Got the American train though on the map. An interesting departure. Again, in the base game, this road is running right alongside the water. So what Stevie's done is he's pushed the water back and reclaimed some land. But the town in here, I think, is pretty much unchanged. That's a fuel station over here. And we've got the wool sell point. The spinnery is right in here. Here, wool and cotton. Big field 5. Lots of area. You could expand that if you wanted to, or plenty of grass headland there to make that AI very friendly. Coming over here to the port. Again, the port, as far as I can tell, is pretty standard Felsburn, with the exception of the guardrail dump zone has been reworked a little bit. That. Then across the street, we've got another placeable area, but again, as I said earlier, it is tied to that $3 million land purchase. So you're not going to be able to make use of this until you own all of that forest up north and a lot of the random areas around the map that are tied into that forest. Ooh. So once we get past this sell point here, you're going to see the road. You're going to see there's a lot that's been changed visually as compared to Felsburn itself. Another sell point. This has been reworked a little bit to include that train station. Bridge, and we got big old field. Look at that big field. That's big field 15. Have to double back to the Fenton mill before we hit the heating plant. So I believe somewhere around here, the road, the in-game road would split off, and there would start to be a climb, up to the hills. 16 here off to our right. Big field 13 off to our right now. We have Fenton Mill. And let's make our way down here to what would have been the starting point on Felsburn. So we got the shop, got the pond area, which has been reworked a bit, expanded. A little dock down there now on a boat, pretty cool. Then right up here, this was the this is where the base farm, main farm is on Felsburn. It's been completely redone. It is just kind of a building and a little pad. We've got a repair point in there. And this is all tied to field 11 here as far as the land purchase goes. Let's take a look at that. We buy field 11, we get this little area here with it. Field 10, field 11 just goes on. Just wraps around there. Head on up the road. Guess we should double back. Do a little over the land driving to get over to the heating plant. And there you go. Take a look. Got the waterfall off there in the distance under the big train bridge. Here we have the heating plant where we can sell our logs. And I find it interesting that this is a buyable area. I don't know if that means that we can't sell our logs here until we purchase it, or what that really means. Then off to the right, we've got the forest and the mountainsides. Grain mill. Let's do a little in-cab driving just for a moment to get a little bit of a sense of the place here. Got a manure sales over here. This area is tied to field 12. Got a large placeable area here also. You would have to own field 12 to use it. Big shed, and then we've got the slurry and manure sales. So we've got an entrance here off this road. Also, forest is way up in there. We have two-way traffic here on the map. Another sell point. So there is the big forest up in there. We'll see plenty of that when we ride the train. And the way we get up into the forest is basically take this road right here. Here we have the sawmill. Sell point, another sell point for logs right here, and wood chips around the back there. And then we've got yet another large area here for placeables. Sawmill is a buyable area also, so if you want to use this, you're going to have to buy that. What we're going to do is we're going to make our way down the hill to the BGA, the dairy, and a couple other sell points, and then we're going to jump into the train and just take a train ride around the map to just get the experience and the viewpoint of the train tracks. The BGA is in the same spot as is the harbor here, but it's been reworked a little bit. Both areas have been reworked some. Got our dump point here. And then if we make our way over this way, we have the dairy over here. Oh. We would obviously have come in through this other entrance, but we can wind our way. We've got our dairy here. The dairy will accept our milk, but the dairy should also accept some other stuff. Where is it at? Fenton Dairy. Interesting enough, it takes our soybeans, eggs, and milk. That is Fenton Dairy right here. Double back to the BGA. Let's take a look at that. There's a recessed digester. According to the description, it's high capacity. So we'll be able to dump a fair bit of product into it. Got our digestate tank here. Got the dump point for the BGA right here. Then we've got two big bunkers to do our silage work down here at the BGA. Would be nice to see someone take this building right there and make use of it in game. Coming down to the wire here on sell points, we have just one. Well, it's not even a sell point. This is a storage silo. So this is the train transfer station, our storage silo right here, where we can store additional product. And then we have a crane to offload and sell logs from the train right here. We also happen to have another crane up here. The astute may have noticed this little dot earlier. So we've got another crane up here. The north area of the map, top of the forest, that we could use to put logs into the train, then drive them down to that crane down here to then sell. Okay. Well, with that, we're going to hop a ride on the train. Just going to wait for it to come by. We're going to hop a ride and basically take a tour around the map using the train to assist us. Zoom on out as far as we can with the train. That's about as far as we can go. Let's pull up the map so we can kind of see what's going on. Right now we've got field 4 right beside us. Coming up to the shop, and field 15 down there. Overall, I like the looks, I like the style, I like the aesthetics, how this map is changed. Basically, the overall look of Felsburn. I really like it. It's kind of an interesting mashup of the American train and a lot of the European-ish architecture in town. Some of the additions of some of the mills and such sell points that we saw kind of on Goldcrest Valley. So here we are making our way up at the edge of the map. And we now have a waterfall over here. Take a look at that. And we can kind of look across the forest there. See the heating plant down in there. Then the fields, the map off in the distance through the trees. It's kind of hard to see. I can't get high enough. There's plenty of trees here to do your do forestry once you're able to buy the land. That's for sure. But here is that crane that we were at just a little bit ago. Back there is where the waterfall used to be. See, we got a road. The road will kind of go down there into the forest. Do have a placeable area up here in the forest even. But again, we can't really make use of it as far as putting any buildings down until we own the forest, which is that $3.8 million? So there's the road winding around, climbing up into the hills as we descend, double back around. So we've got a train sell point here also at the mill. What is that? This is field 9. Let's look over across the way. Their dairy. Field 10. 10 to our left. 8 to our right. 8 appears to be a very large grass area. Grass meadow. 7. And there you go, guys. So that, guys, is Fenton Forest by Stevie. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of the map? I kind of like it. You know, I think if I didn't have some other stuff already lined up to play and in progress, I would probably be looking to do a play series on this map, or maybe do something with multiplayer on here. So yeah, let me know in the comments, what do you think of Fenton Forest? And until next time, happy farming.